Hey guys, it's Denise Lamara. Welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I am continuing on my role of pushing out videos, and I'm getting so many questions about my hair, and I was just thinking about my overall hair journey and where I was, where I've been, and where I am now. And it's almost like I've come full circle, because if you've been following me, my very first video, my fro was very big, curly, and I had really long hair. And then I cut it, and it was a taper cut, and then that turned into some shave sides, and then it turned into a shaved head, and you know, just the whole gamut. And I rocked short hair for a very long time, and I don't feel like I did as much as I could have with my short hair. Some of the time I did show you guys like a lot of the stuff that I was doing, especially when I first shaved it off and went blonde. But once I moved to New York, like, it was just such a hodgepodge of stuff happening in my life. And I was also very insecure a lot about my hair being so short, because, you know, in a land full of, you know, women with big hair, and especially like the equity of being an influencer and brands wanting to work with you. So this is going to be a breakdown of the 5 things that I most regret about my natural hair journey. You know, we always talk about the positives, and you know, but I've had some really crazy experiences. So I'm just gonna start off with sharing some of those. So stay tuned. So the first thing that I regret is back in 2015 when I shaved all my hair off. I shaved it, I went blonde. I had the whole Amber Rose thing going. I let my environment entice me and to kind of psych me out of keeping my hair short. I grew it out when I wasn't really ready to grow it out. And another reason why I grew it out is because I hadn't found anyone in New York to cut it. And you know, my hair grows very fast, and I had to get my hair cut really realistically twice a month. The biggest reason why I grew my hair out, or started to grow my hair out, is because I was insecure. I was so, and I look back at my pictures, I was like, I was so bummed. Like that hair was amazing. I was so confident most of the time, you know, in real life, but then I was, you know, scrolling on Instagram and not really being approached by a whole lot of brands. But then now that I'm looking back at it now, you know, I was just really starting to really do sponsored content when I moved to New York. So it was a lot of pressure, unnecessary pressure that I was putting on myself that I just didn't realize, I guess. If I could do anything over, I would have kept my blonde hair at least a full year. So number 2, I regret not wearing my hair straight. Heat damage is very real, but there's a way to keep your hair, maintaining the integrity of your hair without stripping your curls, without you know, sacrificing your curls. And I've gotten my hair straightened this year alone 4 or 5 times, which is in the 12 years I've been natural, bruh. No, so I've been natural 12 years, but these past 5 years, I was like, no heat. I really played myself a little bit, because I'm just like, no, I can still wear my hair straightened, but in moderation, and making sure that I'm using the heat protectant, and actually seeing a stylist. Like, going to a really good stylist is so important, who specializes in natural hair, and specializes in women with curls, and specializes in women who wants to keep the integrity of their curls, but still wants to get their hair straightened, or still wants to get color, or whatever. So I definitely regret not wearing it straight as much, although wearing it straight does come with its own set of issues, because frizz and having to re-straighten it and working out, like, it's a nightmare to work out with. So, you know, I wouldn't do it as much, but I definitely wish I would have did a little bit more and not been so scared of heat. Number 3, not maintaining my hair regimen. So when I grew out my hair from being short to being long, like, it was honestly felt like it was overnight. And she's going to kill me for saying this, but for a while I felt like my hair was not growing, and I'm like, why it's feeling like my hair ain't growing. And that's because, you know, my boo Gianne was a little scissor happy. Like, you know, I would go to her for trims or whatever, and I was like, oh, I just want, you know, this amount cut off, and it's sometimes a little bit too much, sometimes a little bit too much. So I just kind of like, ooh. So kind of being frustrated with my hair a lot of the times. The same regimen that I had when I was first going from a big the horrible big top that I had back in 2014, 2013. I took care of my hair. I wish I would have like kept that, because I probably wouldn't have had so many hair woes in the meantime, because, you know, people see your hair and they're like, oh, it's so great, but baby, it's not always great. Y'all know last year I almost cut my hair off again because I was struggling, and I think a lot of it did have to do with circumstance. Like, I was in the middle of moving, it was in the middle of the summer, I was traveling a lot, so I really did not have the time to really just dedicate to, you know, seeing after my tresses. So now that I'm a little bit more settled and stable, I'm able to kind of like, you know, go to the stylist if I don't feel like doing it, or now I'm not having to maintain it as much. Number 4. One of the things I learned that I'm like, dang, I have been playing myself for eons. So you guys know I've gone to Mono's hair a couple of times as a hair model, and this last time when she did my hair, she really put me up on game. I'm talking about on game, and what I'm talking about is having wash day be a whole day process. It does not have to be. Did I really realize that I should have been using a hooded hair dryer, or I should have not been detangling twice in my whole regimen? He basically was saying that when you're deep conditioning your hair, if you're styling your hair right after, you're doing double duty. So if you're detangling while you're deep conditioning, if especially as curly as my hair is, or, you know, you do know that your hair curls right back up, and sometimes it'll mat right back up even after that, after you wash the deep conditioner out, and you have to like detangle it all over again when you're doing your twist out, or you're doing your shingles, or you're doing your wash and go. So she showed me that when you're deep conditioning after you shampoo and condition, that you just break it off in chunks, not like fully detangling during that process, because you're doing double duty. And I also set under a dryer to deep condition, so that's another thing she was saying, like sitting under, like letting it just kind of like stay in your hair for hours and hours and hours and overnight. And because that irritates your scalp, it's too much for your hair to just be sitting holding onto that product. I remember I used to deep condition overnight, and I'm like, that's a part of the reason why it's taking me forever to get my life together when I'm washing my hair. So baby, I deep conditioned my hair for a good like 10 to 15 minutes. Wash that out, I was done. So what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes from wash to deep condition? That's a big deal for a natural. And then afterwards, I detangle section by section with products and a lot of water. And that's another thing she was saying, is like adding more water, less product. Mind blown. Last but not least, meeting men. You know, men have preferences. Some men like natural hair, some men don't. Some men don't like short hair, some men like wigs, some men don't, you know. So there's definitely a conversation to be had around, you know, how straight women, black women, relate to men and navigate that space with natural hair. So I have a really great story so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. So my first year in New York, I blonde, shaved, cool, made a wig, my Shaka Khan wig. That was a very infamous, amazing wig that I made, and went out with my friend. She came to visit me for Halloween. We went out that night. We went to some diner. So we're in the diner, I meet this guy, you know, we're chatting it up, exchange numbers, cool. So we're texting, talking, and he's like, then he brings up my hair. He's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. And I'm like, he's like, it's just so long and pretty. And I was like, okay, well, just FYI. Well, first I was like, you know, I wanted to test the temperature. I said, are you attracted to women with short hair? And he was like, how short? I was like Jada Pinkett, Amber Rose type short. And he was like, it's alright. He was like, why do you ask? He was like, it's cool. Why do you ask? I was like, well, I have on a wig, even with a wig on, and that, you know, that was a situation. Like, that's not my hair, that is a wig. That dude ghosted me. He had nothing else to say. I was like, okay, well, I see your preference, and I'm like, okay, cool. The last guy I've been dating since I've been in Atlanta, I met him saying literally the same instance. The only thing is that he found my Instagram, and I never let dudes see my Instagram ever. He actually ended up finding my Instagram before I even had the chance to like do the whole that wasn't my hair situation. So I was like, he was gonna, you know, and he was like, oh yeah, I saw your Instagram. I said, I love your natural hair. And I was like, boom, cool. So it's just kind of like navigating that space was definitely difficult. And so just not caring, like, you're either gonna like me or you're not gonna like me. You're just not my person, and that's okay, because baby, my hair be looking crazy most days. My hair looks crazy, so I need a man that understand it. The twist out game is gonna stay a twist out until I'm ready to fluff it on out. I'm gonna be looking like Steely for a couple of days. So thank you guys for listening to my rant. I would really love to know what you guys' experiences are. Do you relate to any of the things that I've said, your own personal battles that you've dealt with? Because, you know, I've been natural since 2005, so there's been so many different eras of my hair. Of course, there's bound to be times where I'm second guessing myself, or I'm not as confident, or I've made some mistakes, some natural hair mistakes, you know. So definitely, you know, we're all human, you know, us YouTubers and influencers and all that, you know, we're humans too, and we be having child issues just like y'all. So I would love to know what experiences you guys have, because I do not have a good hair day every day. Until next time, I will see you guys later.